How to deal with the narcissistic smear campaign. Now, there are tons of videos online that deal with this phenomenon, and just briefly, a smear campaign is what happens when you're dealing with a narcissist and you, as a scapegoat, or really anyone, but it's usually the scapegoat, when you assert yourself, when you say no to things that usually you say yeah to, or when you point out, the behavior, the negative behavior of the narcissist, or even, you know, all the way up to just like, screw it, I'm going no contact. And then they go around to your friends and relatives and they say disparaging things about you with the hopes of ruining your character, a means to isolate you and make it look like no matter what you say about them, you're just some disgruntled person. You're obviously mad because you're a bad person. What they're trying to do is get everybody on their side because they're narcissistic and they're cowards. So, again, lots of videos on this online, about ways to deal with the smear campaign and how you stop it and how you do this. And my only response as a layperson, as a mental health professional, as a person who's seen a little bit of life and talked to a good amount of people, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt in my body, um, the best way to deal with it is to not deal with it. Let me explain. So, the people who are susceptible to the words of a narcissist are in one of two camps, right? They are either diet narcissists themselves who enjoy disparaging other people, aka flying monkeys, who enjoy following behind a narcissist and basically helping them do their evil work. They enjoy doing things to disempower the person who is the actual victim, meaning the truth teller or the scapegoat, or just the person who stepped out of line of the narcissistic cult. So they already have a desire to do this. They're just waiting for a target. And once the narcissist, supplies them a target in you, they got no problem going against you. That's the first camp. The second camp is people that might be well meaning but are not experienced with narcissistic abuse. This might be friends or loose acquaintances of the narcissist that they feel, has some connection to you. And so they go and they complain and piss and moan to them. And because this person is unfamiliar with abuse or just, generally naive and, not the biggest thinkers in the world, they will go along with it. They may not go out of their way to spread the rumor, but they will listen to the rumor and they will believe the rumor and come to see you in a different light. Okay, these people are problematic as well, and I'll explain why. Now, the best thing I think you should do, again, is don't deal with it. Unless we're talking a work setting where people are calling into question your professional integrity and doing things that might cause you to lose your paycheck, lose your license, lose your ability to pay that mortgage, that rent, that car note, that phone note. Um, Unless it's a situation like that where you definitely need to take some action so that there's no confusion. If we're just talking about family relationships and acquaintances and friendships, let it go. Let the whole campaign go. Let the campaign get funded. Let all the celebrities come out and do cartwheels for the campaign. Hell, encourage the campaign. Because the campaign is doing you a favor. And some favors that are good for you in the long term are initially very painful for you to deal with. But the smear campaign is doing you the highest favor in that it's helping you identify the snakes in your life. And if you've been around a narcissist long enough and you have been around the people that they typically stay around, the majority of the people in your circle are going to be snakes. That might be the hard lesson. That might be the painful favor. but it will identify the fucking snakes. And you don't need snakes around you. You need people around you that are going to think critically at all times. Because there's something in this world called loyalty. And if you don't have it, fuck you. You know, if you can't be loyal or true to anything, fuck you. Okay? Because that means you can't be relied upon. If you don't have loyalty, you can't be a parent. Because a parent has to choose their child over everything, over their impulses, over their desire to go out and party, over their desire to not handle responsibilities. You must choose your child, and you're only doing that out of a sense of loyalty and love for that child. So I don't trust people who don't have loyalty, because I know that it's too easy for them to go ahead and sell you out for them 30 pieces of silver. It's too easy for these people to turn around, and once you turn around, they stick that, that shiv in. It's too easy for them. It speaks to a lack of integrity in their character. It speaks to a lack of courage. It speaks to a lack of heart. It speaks to a lack of discernment. And it also speaks to a desire that was already there to have a problem with you. Because if the person affected by the smear campaign was like just your friend the other day, and you were going out to lunch and you were having a good time and talking about life and doing the things that people do when they enjoy each other, and they heard one little thing from the narcissist or via somebody else that was told by the narcissist, and they do a 100% about face, 180-degree turn on you. They had problems with you before. They just didn't have an opportunity to let those problems manifest, because what you're going to do if you enjoy spending time with someone is at least give them the benefit of the doubt. You know, if there's no conversation that comes after they hear what they hear, know that they wanted to hear something eventually, and they wanted to do this to you. There may be a lot of people in your life that you think are your friends that are not your friends. There are very few real friends that you find in life, right? So it's going to help you identify the snakes. And you got to treat them with about as much mercy as they treat you, which is to say, you got to be able to look through them. I said in another video, I have a superpower where I could just cut you off mentally. Because I've had to develop that, because I come from a family of narcissists and a family of enablers and a family of toxic people who have some good traits here and there, but at their core, they weren't raised right. And as a result of that, they don't have that much empathy. So when I went no contact with my narc mom, my narc brother, everyone in that household, my immediate family household, and the smear campaign started, and I saw the signs and all the differences, and saw the little one-word responses and the very flippant remarks to me, and in all the ways I was spoken to. When I saw that, I knew what was going on. And rather than begging and throwing my integrity away, what I went ahead and did was I simply let them go. I started blocking them. In fact, nobody blocked me off of the smear campaign. I was the blocker. Because I knew, and I knew I wasn't going to beg somebody when I had done nothing wrong to them. I'm not going to sit there and beg you to believe me. We grew up together. We were cousins. You know my character. You may not have seen me in person in a while, but you know my character. And I've done a lot for you. I've held you many a night when you were crying about XYZ, boo-hooing about XYZ, complaining about a problem, usually one you created. But I would listen. And now you hear something from a person with a fucked up, problematic life where you should be able to see something is wrong. And you do an about face on me, as I said, a 180. Okay, I see that slithering and I see that forked tongue now. You can get the fuck out too. You can go too. There's no contract in life that says we need to know each other till the day we die. There's no contract. We don't have to worry about reneging on what we promised. We made no promises. Blood is thicker than water. That's not even the whole phrase. Who cares about blood if there's no understanding on the other side of that? Or no willingness to try to understand, okay? So that's the first camp, okay? Let them go. Let the smear campaign happen. So the second camp, these naive people who aren't used to narcissistic abuse, and they think, well, it's your mom or your dad or your uncle or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. Why would they lie? They would never lie about you. Ask yourself the question again, why they would never lie about you, but you would lie about them. There is an internal bias. Again, it's there. They're coming at it from different reasons, but the internal bias against you is there. You have to ask yourself why. If you are a scapegoat, there is something in you that makes a narcissist feel like shit. There's an authenticity in you that makes a narcissist feel like shit. There's a kindness and a goodness in you. There's a quiet confidence in you, perhaps. Even those of you who seem timid, you have, and this is just what I've seen. I don't do that chosen one stuff because I'm no better than anyone. I'm not some superhero just waiting to be unveiled or revealed to the planet. But I think whenever I've met a scapegoat, one of the few features I've seen is that they're very kind, that they are pretty logical and they try to do the right thing. Are we perfect? No. And do I have days where I'm the grouchiest motherfucker on the planet? Yes. I try to contain it. I try not to be a narcissist and let it spew all over everyone, as every adult should. Keep their emotions in check. But does it happen? Yeah. Yeah, it happens. Can't deny it, right? But those traits tend to bring out the worst in people that are either narcissistic or weak of character. So I'd have to say that second camp is naive and on some level weak in character because, and I don't know if it was, if I don't know if it was the dude who wrote Crime and Punishment or whomever, and I'm gonna butcher the quote, but the quote goes, some people don't want to believe the truth because some people don't want to accept what you say because they're afraid that you're going to destroy their illusions. If you want to labor under the illusion that every mother and father is just sweet as pie and good to people because you don't want your perfect little world fucked with, so you're like, it has to be you because, I'm in the Matrix and I don't want that red pill. I want the blue pill and the steak dinner, and I want to be rich beyond belief and, get me out of here. I'm tired of living like this in the Matrix or, in the real world. I want to go back to the Matrix. Um, if that's you, uh, you're a lost cause anyway. What you are is, this is what these people are to me, right? It took more than a racist to help Hitler come to power. There were some Germans, and people in other German provinces that probably didn't really have any issues with Jews or gypsies or anything like that. But they were one of these milk toasts, I'll say it, stupid people who are like, well, he's a good man and he's a politician and he fought in World War I. He's a patriot and a veteran. If he says these people are bad and that they're trying to take over the world and that they're horrible and that they're like animals, then it must be true. I mean, I've known my neighbors, the Cohens, for like 20 years, but this man is wearing a suit. All these people wanted him to be in office. He's got so many admirers. So many people think highly of him. Men fall in line behind him. Women want to be with him. He must be right. This is the mentality of the naive sheep herd-like person. So they don't get a pass either. I'm not going to give you a pass just because Hitler's speech was so good. You sold your neighbors out. You watched them get loaded onto trucks. You saw them never come home. You probably went ahead and did what you could to get their property, to buy their homes that they had been forcibly removed from. You did that. Now, are you necessarily a racist? No. Again, but you are passively responsible for that. You are passively responsible for that. So, long story short, let the smear campaign happen. It reveals who's there to harm you. It can do nothing but help you. And it can teach you a lot about the human condition. And the human condition largely is one of loneliness when you don't have people that are of one accord with you and who are willing to be emotionally powerful enough to stand in their own truth and say, well, you know what, I've met him and I don't know about that. Again, I'm not perfect, and I'm sure I've had moments of disloyalty too, because nobody is perfect. But I would say overall, if I like you, I like you. And unless I see you doing the behavior you've been accused of, I'm not going to go along with it. I was hanging out with a buddy who dresses pretty, kind of flashy, kind of with the unbuttoned shirt and the gold chain and the chest hair out, and he's got the slick back hair, and he looks like something out of a 90s John Travolta movie. But he's a salt of the earth guy. This guy is just all about peace and love and, doing ayahuasca in the desert and finding himself and shit. He's a great guy. And there's no reason anybody in this world should have a problem with him. He just is who he is, and he dresses the way he dresses, and he likes to party, and that's his life, and that's okay. He does not harm anyone else. But I was out hanging out with him, and he went to, to pee or to do whatever. And I overheard these guys talking, about him, talking about, oh, he looks like he would, you know, provide sexual favors to a man, and he looks like, he would do that, just making fun of this guy for no reason. Um, and then one of them approached me because I had kind of spoken to him a few times, and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" Da, 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 da. And I'm like, "Not much. I'm here with Tommy." And they were like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, hell, cool, yeah, yeah." We were just talking about his style. I was like, "Ha, yeah, I know." And then I stood up and I walked away. You're not gonna sit there and diss my people, and then you get to turn around and, oh, hey, what's up, Holden, how you doing? No, don't, we don't do this. We don't do this. You already revealed yourself. And then they felt all bad and shit because they were like, oh shit, is he gonna tell him? I didn't tell him, because why ruin this guy's night? I'm just not gonna deal with you. When I see you, I'm not gonna deal with you. What do you say about me when I walk away? Well, there's that idiot that always wears the beanie. Look at him. What do you say about me? That's always my thought. Like, wow, you talk a lot of shit about people. You a full grown man talking about what another man wears. That's interesting. What do you care? You didn't have to buy it. That's my attitude. When I've had someone show me kindness and be a cool guy to me, and let's just say it, I'm a cheap date. All this dude has ever done is talk with me about music, and we would sit there and shoot the shit about religion and stuff like that. He hasn't done anything outstanding for me. I haven't done anything outstanding for him. But when I meet kind people and I can feel the purity of their heart, um, you got me. I'm an easy sell. I'm a puppy. All you got to do is not kick me, you know, and you got my loyalty. But long story short, this video is getting long. Never trust people who would so easily believe it, and let the smear campaign do what it does. Leave them all in the dust. Never ever explain yourself. It's too exhaustive. It's too many people. Think of a smear campaign like, dust in your hand and a strong gust of wind. What you gonna chase every molecule of dust, every bad rumor, so you can head it off and you can get in front of people and, hey, don't believe it. That's too much. That's too much running around. I'm getting old. I don't give a shit. If you have a question, you can ask me. If you want to believe it hook, line, and sinker without ever having spoken to me, then, fuck you.